Morning. All right. Hang on, I have to figure out how to get back to where I was. Is it here? Yeah, I guess this is it. All right. I got to move that out of the way. I got to move this over here. I think I got chat. Yeah, I see the chat. Good morning. How's the sound? I have a new mic, which is an old mic. A new version of my old mic. I used to have this Shure. I just never liked it. If you guys know this, it's supposed to be a good brand. Nah. All right, so let me check. I got to get this over there. I got to get that over there. I think I need to pop this other one. So much to do. What is this? Share, I think, and I copied that, and then I go here. Will that pull it up? I'm almost ready. Yeah, that's us. Will that pull it up? Cool. How does the sound? Let me check it. Testing 1, 2, 3. Cool. How does the sound? Let me check it. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hey, it's not good. Hey, that's interesting. That's not very good. Let me see. Let me adjust a little bit. Where do I adjust here? Maybe here? All right, let's try it now. I'm going to listen to it. All right, let's try it now. I'm going to listen to it. It's okay. It's okay. All right, we'll just go with that. All right, so let me get. I'm almost ready. All right, let me mark the start, and then we will go. I will go here just in case I edit it. All right, good morning. Welcome to Forex.Today, the YouTube community of more than 20,000 foreign exchange traders. We gather here today to conduct technical and fundamental analysis with the overriding goal of planning our trades in advance. Because trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. I'm so close. Yeah, I guess I got to figure out how to change the zoom on the camera. I'm just like, zoom in close up. So anyways, hey, good to see you. Hope you enjoyed your holiday, your little vacay. Yep. Martin Luther King Jr. trying to make the world a better place. I appreciate that. So what do you want to do? Let's make our world a bit better. Let's try to create some value. Remember, the point of running a small business like a Forex trading firm is to create value. Okay, getting rich quick. If getting rich is your goal, it's not likely to happen because it's too difficult. This is hard work being a Forex trader, isn't it? So you got to have something bigger than that to keep you strong, because your fortitude will be tested. This is a tough gig, but if you get it right, you get paid a lot. So it's worth the effort is all I'm saying. Like, think about it. I'm a high-tech, or in general, an entrepreneur. And then later on, I made my way to the Silicon Valley, was a high-tech entrepreneur. And then coached startup CEOs, and then became a venture capitalist, which was great. After running a company, we grew it from, I don't know, basically 3 or 4 people. We grew it into 300 or 400 people. Yeah. And then became a venture capitalist and all that kind of stuff. And I have reviewed thousands of business plans, hundreds of patents. And take my word for it, there's nothing better than Forex. It's the purest form of business. Why do you run a restaurant? Because you like paying rent? Because you like spending money on fancy decorations and decor? Why? Because you like to have a huge staff of people in your kitchen and, you know, right? What do they call it? Front of office, front of back of office, front of office, whatever they call that. You like all that? You like all the marketing and advertising? You like having to do all these things with your customers and beg that they come back a second time? Why do people run restaurants like that? Because they want to make money. Well, Forex, we just buy and sell money. Let's just get past all this other nonsense. Let's just make money, right? So it's the purest form of business there is. So this is great. It's worth all your effort. The blood, sweat, and tears for years is worth it. Let me tell you. So in the description below the video, you will get links. Now, every single one of us needs a broker. Most brokers make money when their clients fail. Let me say that again. Most brokers make their money when their customers fail. They're incentivized for you to fail. Trader's Way is an ECN, and they're different because of it. That means you enter a trade, they immediately enter it into the interbanking system through their liquidity partners. They need you. They need you to succeed. And therefore, their incentives are aligned with yours. I like Trader's Way. I recommend them. You should try them out. Okay, you should try them out. Also below the video, a link to investorbootcamp.com. 88 hours of training for $88. There's a free 90-minute lecture on trading stocks. It's good. 90-minute lecture on fundamental analysis. Also free, also good. I wrote a book. It costs a ton of money. Holy crap, this is expensive. Yeah, well, I wrote it and I sold the rights. So I don't dictate it. My next book, I will not sell the rights, and I will sell the book super cheap. Okay? Yeah. Cool. And I can't remember, but I think I spent, 30, 40, 50,000, I don't remember, on the party to launch the book. So when I launch my next book, I won't throw a party. Forget that. 50 grand for a party. Oh, it was good. Oh, it was memorable. So I'll die with that memory in my brain, and that's worth the 50 grand right there. So anyways, life is great. Life is good. Life is beautiful. Thank you for being here today. What would you like me to cover today? Should I pop a poll? Yeah, why don't we pop a poll? Let's pop a poll. Okay, what do you want me to cover? Sorry, it's terrible. Let's do like a euro. Let's do gold. Let's do Bitcoin. And let's throw in a yen. Let's do a yen. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to start. It's the first 20 votes. First 20 votes win. The winner of the first 20 votes. One more vote. All right, so the winner, chicken dinner, gold. Okay, gold. Okay, gold. Let's go to commodities. I guess I'm probably on commodities. No. Wait, that's Bitcoin. Gold. Okay. Let's go out to the daily. Okay. And I think what's interesting about the daily is the 55 was supposed to be in control, right? And the 55 dictates either lower high or double top. Now we've 55'd here at higher high. Then we 55'd here and then double topped. And then we're 55 again. That might be the lower high. Oh, yeah, I heard a beep. I heard an error. Hang on. Huh. Yeah, okay. Is that any better? I heard an error. I heard a ba-boom, but it's telling me that it's sending the sound. No. I don't know what just happened. Oh, it is better or not? It's not quite redlining. Sound is low. Oh, I see it here. Yeah. Is it not recording? That should be better, I bet, huh? But why did it drop? That's the part I don't know. And then I think all the settings are wrong now. I don't have a monitor, so I can't tell you how good or bad it is. But why did it drop? That part I don't know. Interesting. I guess I could use a monitor. Yeah. It's probably too loud. It's probably loud and tinny. I'll take it down one. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. All right. So anyway, so going back to what we had, the next logical one is the actual reversal. Okay? And when I observe something like this, like back in my early days, I was self-taught, right? So in the early days, I'd look at this and I called it frequency. Like, you know, where you'd have a range like this, and then the range would change or tighten up. And it reminded me of like a note changing on an oscillator. And so the way I describe this to myself is the frequency, 55, higher high, 55, double top, 55, lower high, followed by a lower low, lower high, right? So many of the moves that are occurring now, I actually set up in the swing trading group last week. So a lot of these trade plans were set Thursday of last week. And so now you could sort of have something like this strategically in play. Now, for that to happen, you'd have to, right now there's a positive correlation between the stock market and gold, which is strange. It's not that usual. Usually they're sort of opposite. But anyways, if S&P 500 is going to come down, right? So you have this short term versus the medium term. Okay. But if you wanted to be a bear, you certainly could. Okay. Let me set this up bearishly. Okay. Well, what are the chances? I can't answer that. I don't know the statistical number, Don, but I might be venturing on yet another sort of AI project, and one of them is technical analysis. Now, it's going to cost me a lot of money, and let's say I need 100 grand. Okay, I need 100 grand. If I had 100 grand for a project, and of course, to justify the 100 grand, I need to be able to build a business around it, which means I need paying customers, which means I'll need you to pay for it. But here's the thing. The AI never forgets. So when you say, what is the chance of a monthly M1, and you're saying in particular on gold, would you like to know if we looked at an M3, M1 pattern going back every day, every week, every month, going back 20 years? Actually, let's just say 10 years. 10 years to tell you the actual two things. One, the M3 to M1 pattern has set up, and it tells you at the beginning. And then it says there's a 62.38% chance of that pattern fulfilling based on past performance. Would you like to know something like that? Like, A, go look at gold, the pattern is set up. B, it actually tells you it's going to go all the way down to M1. And then it tells you statistically, based on quantitative analysis of that particular pattern on that particular asset, the likelihood of it fulfilling. Yeah. And it looks at, 40, 50, 60 different pairs. So now you're only looking at the things that are interesting quantitatively. And only technical analysis, quantitative analysis of technicals only. It can be done. And there are various things I'm trying to say, like, can we break it down into stages? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. So that, as people subscribe, I can reinvest and unlock the next stage. And then more people subscribe, and then I unlock the next one, right? That kind of thing. But so I don't know the answer, going back to Don's question. What are the chances of hitting monthly M1? Quantitatively, I can't give you the statistic because I don't know it. It's a lot of work going back to say every pattern like this over the last 10 years on gold. I'm sorry, I honestly don't know. But I could know. The thing is, how much do you really want to know? $200 a month? It can. I think it can recognize almost anything you can teach it, Lucas. But yes, the patterns. Yeah, it does all the basic ones, like I don't know. Let's say you had an inverse flag pattern on, okay, like this. Could the AI know that? Yes. And do you care that it's gold? No. So it would look at, let's say it'll look at 50 assets. Okay? And let's say it knows 10 patterns. I'm just making this up, by the way, okay? And it looks at 4 time frames. And then it tracks all 10 patterns on all 4 time frames, so that's 40 patterns, on each of the 50 assets. And then it might say, hey, Lucas, on Euro Aussie, okay, there is an inverse flag, and there's a 67.2% chance when Euro Aussie has a similar pattern to this on that particular time frame of going down here. So it's like it'll go from here to here, and based on that, 67% chance. Quantitatively, not an opinion, just quantitatively. Would you pay $200 a month for that? You know, it's very expensive. It's very intensive, let's put it that way. QuantBox is less intensive. It's very complicated, but it's less intensive in the moment thinking. Okay? But I've seen it. I know it. Like, honestly, I had a meeting with the team last week, and they're like, this is what we can do for you. And they showed me a few things. And I'm like, holy crap. But it's expensive. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's expensive. All right. But it's achievable. All right. Data says it's more systematic. Well, here's the way I look at it. If it looked at 50 assets on 4 time frames, and it only said, hey, Theta, there's 3 things I want you to look at this morning right now, and everything else is irrelevant, then it really is, it's an automation tool to cut out the other 99% of crap that's not interested in even looking and thinking about. You see? Like, that's what I'm thinking. It really, truly is. Like, don't worry about all the other nonsense, but check these 3 things out. Do a little more analysis on these 3 things. And to me, that's worth it. You know, I used to spend $200 a month just on my charts. But anyways. All right, so we did gold. It's coming down as it should. And like I said, there's been a high correlation recently in which the stock market and gold have been aligned. So so this makes sense to me. We're probably going to work our way down back toward 2000. We are blown through the doors, but remember, there was no volatility yesterday because the markets were closed. If you logged in yesterday and you're like, how come Wayne's not doing a live stream? How come Wayne's not doing a live stream? How come Wayne's not doing a live stream? Dude, you just walked into a bear trap. You're like the kid playing the Pokemon game where you stare at your phone and walk off of the Grand Canyon. You didn't see the Grand Canyon. You just walked straight into the Grand and fell off the cliff. Dude, when the U.S. markets are closed and U.S. banks are closed, futures are closed, the stock market's closed, and you don't know, Houston, we have a problem. You're not connected to the market. Okay? That's not an insult. It's just a warning. Be careful. Like, you didn't know that? Why didn't you know that? You should, for you, that should be a personal red flag. You should go back and find, like, the New York Stock Exchange and plot all the days the markets are closed. You should probably know when all the Fed meetings are, all this kind of stuff, right? You should know all the dates in which the summary of economic projections are released. Sometimes I tell the day by the news that you trade. Yeah. I tell I know what I know what the date is based on what news comes out. What's up, Silly Sally? Okay, so anyways. So I prefer the stock market go up, and you can see that I have that planned out too. So today is obviously an important price. Notice that it wasn't a Fibonacci, it was a Wayne-Nachi that held the market up. Once again, I'm debunking the magic of Fibonacci. Okay? And I feel the same way about Mr. Elliott Wave. Some people, I think, over-worship their indicators. I have no problem with Elliott Wave. I think if you study Elliott Wave and you trade it properly, you'll be successful. But that's true of anything, because Elliott Wave is, from what I know, and I am not an expert, but from what I have seen, I'm like, oh, it's price action and Fibonacci. So he wasn't a genius. He just knew 1% more than everybody else. So, yeah, if you remove the magic, then you can learn and understand this. If you prefer the magic part, then you kind of like are just trading with faith. All right, well, maybe that works for you. But so anyways, Wayne-Nachi and Fibonacci give you the exact same thing. But there's no magic to mine. It's 1/3 discount. Who cares? 38.2. It's that precise. Yeah, well, you know what? Mine is 33.33333. In fact, let's fix it right now. I'll show you how precise my numbers are. Oops, I have to go here. Stupid thing. There we go. Okay, 33.33333333333. Oh, 23. No, that would be wrong. I have that level of precision, everybody. There's no messing with me. Okay? If you want to be even more precise, 1/3, because now it goes infinitely. Anyways, so we have a decline and a rise that's in the plan. That would be great. That's a kickoff the daily 21. If or when that fails, that will be the news. We have not closed below it. So we are bullish until something has changed. Yes, there's lots of fear. Okay? But we have to trade reality and not fear. So right now it's holding, but a decline down to the 55, a decline down to the 200, all very feasible. Yeah, all very feasible. Okay, I think there's a reasonable chance. Now, it's still a fairly low chance, but quite reasonable. It would not be abnormal that we drop down to 4,600. And then I would buy the NASDAQ, I think, and I'd probably rotate some out of the Dow. Osamu says the Fed won't cut in March. Of course they won't. So anyways, that would not be abnormal, but it's not happening now. So, okay, at some point we might need to decide that this has double topped and is starting to drop. That might actually occur today. Today's a big day. If this fails to hold and we start making lower lows off of a lower high, then the odds of down increase. Okay? No, I agree. Sal says, you understand the base, it's all the same thing. Well, I've been saying that forever, Sal. The reason I think, right, well, what have I been saying? You have to understand price action. You cannot be a successful trader using any strategy if you don't understand price action. And then I prefer pivot points because they give me targets. Well, if you didn't use pivot points but you use Fibonacci and you use them for extensions, then you basically have the same thing. But there's just a simple base knowledge. And then you can apply whatever techniques you want on top of that. Yeah. So I don't really care what techniques you use. If you love Elliott Wave, great. If you're a good trader, Elliott Wave will work for you. But if you don't like Elliott Wave because it's too rules-based, and I'm not a rules-based guy, so I can lean on, let's say, just price action and Fibonacci. And look, I'm doing okay. This is logical. Buy in the green, okay? Buy dips. Hopefully it makes a higher high. Now, I am concerned because it didn't make a higher high. You see? Like, look, how does the failure of the uptrend present itself? It presents itself like this. Okay? And the warning is the failure to make a higher high. We all know double tops are reversal patterns. So it either does this and it's delayed because of the holiday, or we have double topped and it's going to drop. We're definitely in an if-then scenario. But if you don't understand that concept, nothing's going to save you. Oh, my MACD! Oh, my RSI. No, no, no. Okay? Cool. Like, for example, why is gold falling? Well, why would you want to own gold? We're in a disinflationary period. The only reason you'd want to own gold is you believe inflation is going to come back. And I wouldn't disagree with you. I just need you to say it. Say something, I'm giving up on you. Right? Look, so if that's your place, then sing it from the top of the mountain, son. But if you just trade gold because you like trading gold, you're a player, not a pro. So if you're like, inflation's coming back, and then I say, where? And you're like, energy and food. Rent's going to stabilize. It's fallen a little bit, but rents are going to stabilize. Wages are going to stay above normal. Inflation's not going to go away anytime soon. Now you're a bull. If you can't say that, I'm not sure what you're doing, and you may not know what you're doing. Okay? Theta says if inflation is higher, then that will be a big deal. Yes, so that should be what you're trading here. If you don't know why you're making the trade, then it's not a trade. You're a guesser. You're a hoper. You're a lover. You're a hater. You have to know the why. Right? So anyways, if you think inflation's falling, then you're selling the rallies. If you think it's going to come back, then you're going to buy the dips. If you don't know that, then you don't have anything. Okay? You don't have anything. Right? Your profits are like water in your cupped hand. It's just slowly going away. You know, like, yeah. You remember that scene in what was it? Clan of the Cave Bear? Man, what was it? The 80s, the 70s? Daryl Hahn has never looked so good. They're carrying fire. They're cavemen and they're carrying fire. And the guy holding the fire, it's in like a little birdcage kind of thing, and they're keeping the embers hot. And he falls into a swamp. Nietzsche, you're not going Nietzsche on me, huh? Why does it all matter, Sal? We're all going to die anyways. Yeah. That which does not kill me makes me stronger. Thank you, Frederick. So anywho. So I think the Clan of the Cave Bear, and it's amateurs hanging on to their profits, hoping not to fall into the swamp of bankruptcy. Instead of focusing on getting rich quick, focus on becoming a better analyst. Remember, you'd always start out as an analyst, right? Like, think of it. Someone with not a lot of experience and probably not a lot of money and maybe not a lot of education in things of finance or economics, but they believe they're going to get rich trading Forex. Huh. Why? Okay? They're focused on the wrong thing at the wrong time. Hey, if you want to get rich, focus on your education and your training and your knowledge level and your skill level for 10 years. And then once you got all that down, then maybe you can think about getting rich. Yeah, I guess so, Theta. Yeah, it's definitely appealing, isn't it? But I suppose if you knew enough, you would know it's not true. You know? Like, I suppose if you know it's not true, then you're smart enough to know how to do it. If you're not smart enough to know how to do it, then you would believe the nonsense. But once again, if you spent one day with a spreadsheet, and I know many boot campers do this, right? You spent one day with a spreadsheet and you just did some basic calculations. There's no way the guy preaching the yellow Lamborghini makes any sense. Like the methodology, the math behind what they do makes no sense. But if you're unwilling to do that kind of work, or you're incapable of doing that work, then you might just believe it. Yeah. Might. Yeah. Anyways, so let's go on to the next one. I'm very interested in oil. Always have been. And you can see I have multiple plans to the up. We hit 70 and it went up. We hit 70 again and it went up. Hit 71 and it went up. So it's not going anywhere, but it's not falling. But, okay, those that have invested time and money into things like QuantBox or into Investor Bootcamp and have done the oil trading course, they are thinking 30, 60, and 90 days in advance. And if that's true, then we're about 45 days into that 90-day window. They have foresight. Okay. So like Investor Bootcamp meetings, we talk about today, but we also talk about next week, next month, next quarter, the rest of the year. We talk about next year. There's a new video on FX Bootcamp's YouTube channel. Lots of people left good comments, and one guy said, "Oh, hindsight is a beautiful thing." Well, he doesn't know anything about bootcamp then, because if you can't plan the future, then today is irrelevant. So, anyways, if you have invested time and money into these things, then you have a plan. And you probably perceive 45 days into the future, but that window started back here. And as we move closer and closer to the future, more into the future, into the 90-day window, we're now halfway into the 90-day window. And the closer to that, the next 45 days are even more powerful than these first 45 days. But this stabilization is not surprising in the least. With 20 years of data, there's no surprise here. So now it gets even more interesting what happens in the next 45 days. Okay? But if you wait 90 days to make a decision, you've probably already missed the clue train. The ship has sailed. And trust me, if I was the captain of the ship, at 5:01 p.m., we are leaving the dock. I don't care who's out there. There's YouTube videos of people running and the ship is waiting for them. I'm like, I would have left their ass there. If you're late, dude. The ship's sailing, man. Anyways, the market will not wait. The market will not wait. And anyways. The only way to even have a chance of predicting the future is to have good data. Okay. Real disappointment. Like last week, we had our big move on BTC. Look. Okay. Look. Let's do the good before the bad. Okay. We have a plan here. You can even see one up, down, and target. I did that, was it a week before the event? I think it was, right? Like way early. I believe it was at least a week in advance because I remember we had that target and we hit here and it dropped. So that was the first top, right? And we had planned that a week early. And then the second move, we hit the target, which was here. It went a little higher. Weekly pivots, by the way. Okay. Then what? And I think I even talked about it before, that it would be disappointing, but not unexpected. I think that's how I described it. Now, when you describe something like that, you hope it doesn't happen. My plan was not to take profit here. But look at those weekly pivots, huh? What do you think? Look at that. Not even a half a penny higher. Do you see that? That was set in stone Friday night. And what day did the news come out? Thursday? And not even a half a pip higher than the price we had put down for Bitcoin Friday. Almost a week in advance. $49,002.44. And we didn't even go to $49,002.50. Like, it's incredible, the accuracy, you see? Right? Oh my gosh. So this is important psychologically, because I remind boot campers all the time that you have to give yourself a pat on the shoulder at every opportunity you can, because you need to maintain real confidence, not BS confidence. That's ego versus egotism. Ego gets you through the bad times because you have strength and fortitude, because you have true inner beliefs. Not this, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, I'm going to get rich trading Forex nonsense. Okay? It's earned self-respect. And so to earn and keep the self-respect, you have to say things like, I definitely have the right tools. Okay? I definitely have the right tools. Absolutely, totally, 100% faux show. These are the right tools. You don't need more tools. There's nothing missing. There's no gap. Institutional investors and retail investors alike use the tools that we have. So you don't change the tools, and you don't need to change the rules. You probably need to work on your behavior. It's not the golf ball. It's not the club. It's not the golf club, right? It's not the fairway. It's not the greens. Oh, the sand traps are chunky. It's not the sand traps. It's you. But don't be upset by it. What would a champion do? Get the best equipment, get the best tools, get the best coaches, get the best tech, and realize this is a competition, and you got to be strong. I remember there was this NBA player. I don't remember who it was, though. He's retired now, but I just don't remember who it was at all. But he was talking about, I think he played for the Lakers with Kobe Bryant. And on his first day, and so they recruited him, and he obviously was a good player. I don't know. But anyway, so on his first day, Kobe says, hey, why don't you come out and work out with me for the day? And the guy's like, yeah, that sounds great. So they meet at like 6 o'clock in the morning or something, right? And then earlier than this already star player practices. And they show up on the court, and it's just him and Kobe. The rest of the team's not even there. There's no coaches, just him and Kobe. Kobe says, hey, are you ready to black out? And he's like, well, what do you mean? And they go through the practice, and he said about 3/4 of the way of the practice, he could see stars. And the room was spinning, you know? And Kobe comes back. He's like, here it comes. And the guy said he literally nearly blacked out from how hard and intense Kobe Bryant's workout was. So then they do some other stuff. They stretch, they go to the gym and all that kind of stuff. Then they go out and have lunch and everything's good. And then he's like, well, let's get back. And he's like, what do you mean get back? Well, that's only half of the workout. Now we got to go back and black out again. And that's sort of the philosophy that I'm trying to get all of us here. Okay? It's, like that attitude is the samurai warrior attitude. The most important thing to becoming a master samurai is the samurai's mental psychology, I guess. So I'm reading the book, right, written 600 years ago about becoming a samurai master. The number one thing is your psychology. If you can't master that, you will not become a master samurai. And so, all I say here is you got to have real confidence. Where does it come from? Because you work out so hard that most people would black out. And then later in the day, you do it again. So that when you get into, let's say, again, using sports as the analogy, you get into the playoffs, you don't get tired in the fourth quarter. Everyone else gets tired. You still have a little hop in your jump. 3 inches higher than the defender. And you start winning championships. Right? I've led both my kids are state champions in Science Olympiad. One in mechanical engineering and the other one in rocket science. But anyways, I was the coach of the mechanical engineering. We had to build bridges. So I was coach of the bridging team. And again, number one in all of the state of Georgia. They beat thousands of kids all trying to build bridges with the same material. No one beat our bridge. Do you understand that? Nobody beat our bridge. There was a couple of things that we did. My kids had shirts and it said, practice like a champion. Okay, I'm trying to get my mouse to work here. Okay, practice like a champion, but this act like a champion was highlighted. I said you win the state championship through practice. I said you only go to the tournament to pick up your trophy and to inspire others to do better. I had them practice building the bridge with their eyes closed. Not joking. And it's two people working together as a team. They would close their eyes and they would build a bridge at the table with nothing but their mind. No straw, no tape, no, just that's what they did. And I learned that from the Blue Angels. And guess what? They walked up and were the best out of thousands. But the whole thing is the confidence because you could practice, because of how much you practiced. Think of it like how many other teams built their bridges with their eyes closed? None, I'm sure of it. So, if I was your coach and you're competing against thousands, does MACD mastery matter? Does moving average mastery matter? Well, those are good skills. But again, in the samurai book, they said those skills are okay. But without the mindset behind it, you're vincible, not invincible. Okay? You are beatable. You might have a lot of skill, but you won't have the mindset. Little things like fortitude. Many people quite easily give up. Now, on the flip side, I'm an entrepreneur, and many of you are entrepreneurs, so you probably relate with this. I don't give up when I probably should. I am the captain that goes down with the ship. And if you're an entrepreneur, you've had some pretty good highs, but you've had some pretty low lows. So that strength is also the weakness. Yeah. So therefore, you have to tame the beast. You have to harness the positive energy you bring to the market every day, because your entrepreneurial spirit will allow you to fail. And you're like, well, I'll get through this. Your entrepreneurial spirit will allow you to leverage. Your entrepreneurial spirit will kind of push you to speed things up. And that is not the way. The way in our art, and this is tricky for us entrepreneurs because we do want to speed things up. Inevitably, we are looking for efficiencies. We're trying to get, everyone does want to get rich quick. Why would you want to get rich slow? So there's the balance, right? The trick to becoming, let's say, a black belt in karate is not asking on your first day when they give you your gi and your white belt. You're like, how can I get black belt as quickly as possible? Can I do it in 2 years? Can I do it in 18 months? What if I pay more money? Well, right there, none of those are master questions, are they? So, in my humble opinion, the way to become a master of karate, which I am not, but I am certain, it's enjoying the process of mastery. I think if you slow things down, but you are dedicated and disciplined, you go to class every single time, you do the work and the techniques and the practice every single time, because you're becoming a master. You're not getting a black belt. If you get a black belt, you are not a master. You earn it. And I think if you would just enjoy the smell of the mats, the sweaty mats at your gym, and standing in front of the mirror with your knees bent slightly and your thumbs just in the perfect, and you're just like, shut! And you do that 1,000,000 times, but you actually enjoy it. I think if you slow things down and grow your heart for Forex, or grow your heart for karate, growing your heart for whatever mastery, if you actually enjoy playing the piano, if you want to you can become a concert pianist and know how to play piano, or you can master. And how do you do that? It's another level of respect for your art, another level of passion for doing what you're doing. Right? And so slowing things down and just enjoying the process. You're going to do this for the next 20 or 30 years. Enjoy it. It's not going to get easier, but you need to get stronger. Not because you think you were born to do this, but because you have an earned confidence. You have real experience. And when you go through tough periods, you don't change what you do, you change how you do it, because you already know you have the right tools. You see? The pivot points didn't let you down. Pivot points worked. Look what I drew in advance. Okay? This leads to that. That's the strategy. It worked beautifully. If you want to take it further, you could say, well, this is the bottom, so this is the top. Yeah. So what's all of this? Well, apparently people took profit at the top. That's it. Cool. So that's where you should get your confidence. You're like, if you ever go through a tough stretch, and you will, so when you go through a tough stretch, you're like, well, thank God I have the right tools. Thank God I have the right coach. I can get through this. But I need to take control of whatever's going wrong. And you know what? It just, things happen and you stop using the daily chart, right? You ever find that? Everything's going well for a while, but then you lose the daily chart. And you're like, oh, I got to get back to using the daily chart. Yeah, then do that. Whatever, you need to uncover it. But it's just part of the process, so you don't get upset. But you do fix it. Yes, I do meditate every day, and I have meditated every day. Probably since I've been a Forex trader. Right around that time, I think that it became consistent every day. So like this morning, I think maybe 40 minutes. For me, my form of meditation, again, I haven't been taught. A friend of mine, by the way, does teach meditation, so maybe I'll reach out. Maybe I'll buy his book. Maybe I should buy his book, Vishen Lanaki. But I'm self-taught. And so I organize my thoughts. I organize when I meditate. Other people do other things, I think. So I think the classic, and this is probably a misperception or conception, but where you sit and your legs are crossed. I do cross my legs. And you got your fingers in this little pose, whatever it is, and you say Om, and then you think about floating through a golden triangle. Just let go of your thoughts. Let go of your thoughts. No. I do the opposite of that. I do sit. I do cross my legs, and I focus my thoughts because I'm an entrepreneur. I have a million thoughts. Okay, I have a million thoughts. And so I do not let go of them. I would never want to do that. I think, because again, it's not me, but I think a lot of people have negative emotions and negative thoughts. Therefore, you would want to quiet those. I don't have that in my mind. I just don't have those thoughts and emotions in my mind. But if I did, I'd want to quiet them. I don't have them. So it wouldn't even occur to me to have those thoughts. So I don't have those thoughts. So instead, I have lots of other things. And and if you've known me for a while, I'm trying to do 20 things, and of them, 3 things get done. And 2 things, so now I'm up to 5. 2 things are half done. But I do things. But I'm constantly I constantly focus and then filter out and just do what I can. And then hopefully I can circle around and pick those things up, the things that didn't get done, but sometimes new things come in, right? And you're constantly triaging, constantly prioritizing, but constantly focusing. So, a lot of stuff gets left by the wayside. If you've ever seen, large masses of people being forced out to migrate because of things like war, you see like furniture and baggage all along the side of the road because after a while you can't carry it. That's kind of the trail that I blaze as I go. But yes, I definitely, absolutely, totally meditate every morning. But interesting enough, cigars also lead to a form of meditation. It's a little bit different, but it's very much can be. And in fact, when it's most enjoyable, it is a meditation. So one of my favorite things is to sit out in the morning in the warm sun with a cigar, a coffee, a notepad, and a pen. And very often I'm reading central bank reports and I'm enjoying it and I'm rewarding myself. So going back to the mastery, there's someone that in the beginning who might say, I don't want to read these things. And then later on you're like, well, I'll read them, but only because Wayne told me to read them. And there's sort of a negative connotation to it. I don't want to do that. I don't understand this stuff. Why does this stuff even matter? See, all that's just negative, right? And so one of the things I do, and I do this a lot, is when I do things that I need to do, must do, or don't want to do, I tie in a reward. So in the beginning for you guys, I'll just use my example, but you would have your version of it. If you're going to read 20 or 30 pages of central bank reports on the weekend, well, get a really good cup of coffee. I would even spend extra money. So now you got your Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee. It's fabulous. Or your Kona coffee, $50 to $100 a pound. Yeah, whatever. Just if it brings you joy, get that. Right? And then I also have a beautiful cigar and I'll sit there and I'll smell it and I'll appreciate it. And I appreciate the fact it took 10 or 20 years to make this cigar. And I'll clip that. And now I got my beautiful coffee and it's just fantastic. And my home on purpose is a beautiful environment. So I sit in my beautiful environment, very, very positive, lots of air, lots of light, lots of flowers and trees, just beauty, right? And now it's all part of this Forex trading strategy. And they'll sit there on a Saturday morning under a blooming, flowering tree with the warm sun on my face. The lake is sparkling gold, just shimmering. I got my beautiful cup of coffee. I'm enjoying my fabulous cigar. And I'm highlighting and taking notes as I read through my central banking reports. Do you know how I feel at the end? Even if it's just psychological. I'm a real Forex trader. I do the work people are unwilling or incapable of doing. And I come out and I feel like I'm the real deal. But I am the real deal. But the thing is, I feel like it. And I also feel like I know what's going on. I feel like I'm up to date. I feel like I, in some cases, even know more because I've done this work. And it was a reward. I come out feeling rewarded. That extra, like I said, it's the Kobe Bryant when we're in the playoffs and we're in it to win it. Second place goes home a loser. We're in the fourth quarter and I can jump 3 inches higher than everybody else because everybody else is tired. Well, I practice tired every day. My tired is better than their not tired. Just when you need it the most, you have the capability. But once again, this is somebody that sits in front of the mirror, is not thinking, how do I get from green belt to black belt faster? No, they're sitting in front of the mirror and they're just enjoying being on the mats, in the mirror, Yes, they've done 900,000 punches, but they're becoming perfect. And then the last step to mastery, in my humble opinion, is to teach. Richard says you have to interpret them correctly. I don't even think. They use big Harvard words, maybe. But what I did when I first started in the beginning is when I uncovered things, and I didn't understand anything. Like I had to learn like what a moving average was. I mean, I literally knew nothing. So when in my research, when I didn't understand things, I would write, and I think I put this in my book, so it must be true. I would write things down, just like words, just diversification. I don't know what that is, right? Stuff like that, because you'd hear a lot that timing, earnings. What I really, honestly knew nothing, because going from a Silicon Valley entrepreneur and then venture capitalist, right? Nobody's interested in these public markets. I mean, they're mocked. What kind of loser would buy dogfood.com at $100 a share? A venture capitalist or an angel investor paid a half a penny. Well, unfortunately, they sold them to a bunch of pension funds, and so school teachers and firefighters bought dogfood.com at $100 a share. And then it went to zero. So anyways, it just never occurred to me that I would ever be interested in the stock market. It's really funny, right? So I really honestly knew nothing. So I'd write things down. And then I would go research those things, which would uncover more things I didn't know. And I would write those things down. And it just it was sort of ongoing. Okay? And here it is 20 years later, I'm still learning. How much do I value education? Yeah, I went to Harvard for 5 years as an adult, so I could learn more. So I value education greatly. Okay? And then what? Then when Harvard was done, I went to MIT. And when MIT was done, I went to Oxford. More and more and more and more and more and more and more. I want to know more. Okay? So anyways, that's the level of mastery that we're all trying to get to. And the thing is, whether you're trying to be a samurai warrior, a concert pianist, a competitive athlete, or a Forex trader, it's the same thing. And that's what they all say. It's the mental attitude. That's the most important thing. You're going to have God-given strengths, and I don't know who gives you your weaknesses, but you're going to have pluses and minuses. Your angels and your demons, and it's how you face them. So, like, no doubt, when you're an NBA player, you're good. But there's no doubt that there's bottom tier, middle tier, upper tier, and then after that, there's franchise players. No matter where you are in that spectrum, nothing stops you from showing up for practice at 5 o'clock in the morning. You're like, but practice doesn't even start till 9. Yeah, well, nothing stops you from getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning. My favorite cigar is a Cohiba Biheke 56. Okay? The guy that makes these, his name is Danny. Danny's cool. I brought whiskey to Cuba with me my most recent trip, and I sat down with Danny. He runs the head of production for Cohiba, and we're sitting in the Cohiba offices, and I brought the whiskey, and he's like, "This whiskey's awesome." So we're sitting there smoking our Cohibas. Yeah, drinking our whiskeys. It was pretty fantastic. Yeah, I like them thicker because then they burn a cooler. But the BTC 56, that would be it. I wish it was a 58, really, but. Under BTC, Cohiba. Let's see. I don't know any of these sites. Oh. Man, that side button on my mouse. Is this a nice site? They're going to give you nice pictures. Anyways, that's it. You see? See? It's nice, huh? Yeah, they're nice. Oh. When do I get a chance? Well, I work often. Oh, thank you, Osama. I didn't know. I suppose if I use a fabric bag when I do my grocery shopping instead of plastic bags, that'll be good too. Oh, the sarcasm. Yeah. All right, so let's move. Let's move. Let's take a look. We can do, sure. I guess we'll do that. So I'm short at 67 and we're at 66. So I'm not quite 67. And so anyways, pretty close to 100 pips on that one. That's last week's swing trade. Yeah, Frank, I can't afford to get sick. But that's last week's swing trade. So if you're not in my swing trading group, it's $99 a month. We meet twice a week. We meet today, I guess, don't we? Yeah. It's $99 a month. We meet, what is that, 8 times a month? I mean, it's $20 a week, right? Like, anyways, that's last week's trade plan. So there it is. We're done. You could actually take profit, and it's fulfilled its destiny. And the fact we hit it earlier in the week suggests that there's going to be a big pullback. But nonetheless, that's how we do. And yeah, but be prepared for a big up. We're getting there, Tomas. We're getting there. But if I showed you this, you should know your euro dollar. Do you understand? Like, I could tell you that is the euro dollar. This has nothing to do with the Aussie. So if I show you this, here's like a good exam test, okay, Tomas? Or Thomas? Okay? I should show you this, and then I give you 5 other charts. Okay, pound dollar, USD CAD, USD Swiss franc, Kiwi dollar, okay, USD yen. And I say, draw these charts. You should know. So I'm like, that is euro dollar. You're like, no, that's Aussie dollar. Well, what's the difference? Okay. But anyways, we can take a look. And I'll pop that on a 4Z. Okay. And it's exactly the same thing. Like, what are you talking about? It's the same swing trading plan. Okay. So what we came up with last week, let's do this in a different color, in the swing trading group. Okay. That's the sell. This is the target. Oh, but that's not Aussie dollar, that's euro dollar. Uh-huh. Okay, cool. Okay, we worked on our Lucas bands. Okay, the trade plan, I mean, look, they're not perfect. I'm not claiming them to be perfect. We were here. I said, come down here and then up. But we were also discussing using the bands as support. I was hoping 66 would be enough, but somewhere between the 55 and 66. It came down all the way, and then, but look at the target. We did this on Thursday, y'all. Thursday. Today is Tuesday. Look it. I thought 138.2, but instead it went 161.8. Thank you, Leonardo Fibonacci. But I wasn't using Fibonacci. I was just showing you different ways to measure the retracement. So removing Fibonacci altogether, what I predicted is what's here. Osama was talking about week 3. See, this is when we talk about, in QuantBox, we cover stuff like this. Okay, we cover things like this. So, you know. But notice, this is the same as Aussie dollar down, euro dollar down. USD CAD up is the same trade. If you don't understand the one thing, so again, borrowing from the samurai. Okay? To know one thing is to know 10,000 things. Okay? But without the mastery, the psychology, without that, you can know 10,000 things and fail. You know 10,000 things, but know nothing. With the right attitude, in this case, the focus and the patience and the discipline, that type of stuff, the focus on research, well, then you can come to a conclusion and you're like, based on my research and my analysis, my strategy is to take dollar north. You're going to buy US dollar. That's one thing. And from that, you can thread 10,000 things. Euro dollar down, pound dollar down, USD CAD up, USD Swiss franc up, USD yen up, Aussie dollar down, Kiwi dollar down, stock market down, gold down, Bitcoin down, silver down, palladium down, yields up. Wow. So on and so forth. USD Rand up. USD Mexican Peso up. It's like now I know everything because I know one thing. And then, if there's no underlying trend, and actually there isn't much of one right now, this is just seasonal. But no core underlying trend, so you can get caught in cross pairs and stuff. But look at us analyzing this last week. And check this out. Now that I've backed out, you can see, okay, strategically, this week, this is the buy zone, and this is the bullish aggressive target. We've already hit it. We hit it 4 hours ago. So basically, London lunch, we were done for the week. Now, Sal says it's all risk, reward, and lot size. Well, the thing is, that is what you should be focused on in year 10. Okay? For example, let's say you open an account with $1,000 and you trade micro lots. Now, some of you might be trading mini lots with $1,000. Fail. You're not going to make it. You don't understand even the basic concepts. You're on another planet. Your dream doesn't exist. Right? Your dream doesn't exist. It's a mirage. There's sirens luring you into the rocks. You're going to crash and burn. If you have $1,000 and you're trading micro lots, well, then you have a general concept of what's going on around you. You might actually be able to do this because that's what you started with. That was your mental mindset in the beginning. You might be on the clue train. Now, the next thing is, in 5 years, can you double the trading account? And you're like, wait, I can double it in 3 months. Fail. You've already lost. I'm talking to a ghost. Okay? That person will be trying options next, or maybe futures, or maybe flipping real estate. I'm going to do real estate syndication. You don't even have $1,000 and you want to do real estate syndication. Try night school. Invest your $1,000 in the night school and start fresh. Okay? So, if you can work really hard for almost no money for 5 years, you have what it takes. Right? That's where we need to get you. But look at these tools. Do we have the right tools? Did the moving averages work? Yep. Did Fibonacci work? Yep. Did pivot points work? Yep. So where did you go wrong? I don't want to talk about that. Excuse me? I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to know my strengths and weaknesses. You know, at FX boot camp, one thing that goes down is stop, look, and correct sessions. We used to do them at investor boot camp for, a couple of years. And they're popular, but very few people bring their losing trades to be seen by their eyes, by the coach's eyes, and by the other traders. They're ashamed. That's a huge weakness. Every once in a while, though, you get somebody that comes in and every single meeting they bring losing trades. That's the person that's probably, I don't know, but probably will succeed, right? It's those things. So I'm like, so if you have all the tools and they're all working out, what went wrong? I don't want to talk about it. You do want to talk about it. That's the whole point. Yeah. So you got it. You got it. And if you have it, but you haven't been exhibiting it, maybe you haven't heard the speech before. If you're identifying with what I'm talking about, then look in the mirror, make the change, do what you can do. You have to be at peak performance all the time, even 20 years from now. So build the skill Don't worry about the oscillator. Okay. What do I see here? I see up, down, and then down, up, down, but still no trend. The trend is sideways. But once again, what's the one thing we do see? Dollar. Now, why down? Well, I start with USD up, and I stated that last week. Great, great. What about pound? Well, we got some pound news this week, and the British economy is horrid. Horrid! Not horrible, horrible. Yeah, sorry, dad joke. It's terrible. No productivity, high inflation. Oy vey. So as news comes out, maybe people, I don't know, do they want to buy it? With bad news coming out? I don't know. And well, we don't know if the news is going to be bad. But yeah, but really when I look at this, there's no trend. I really don't want to trade it, but I can tell you I'd rather be a seller than a buyer. And I don't know anything about the pound. Like, it's so bad, I can't even tell if bad news is good anymore. Like the reverse psychology, you know. They're really, they're at eyeball level of treading water, which means down is more likely than up at that point, right? They must cut rates, but they can't. They have high inflation, Osamu. They're going to create more inflation. So now you're going to have a recession with 8%. Let's say they slash interest rates, but inflation goes to 8 or 9% again. You know, like, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. We've been watching that for quite some time. Okay, that's a big part of our conversation when it comes to the pound, fundamentally. And we track that quantitatively at QuantBox. But it's a mess. So the only thing here is I'm buying dollar. Well, like USD CAD is going up, buying dollar, right? Aussie dollar is going down, buying dollar. Euro dollar is coming down, buying dollar. If you spent 5 minutes on QuantBox, you would know exactly why I'm doing this. 5 minutes. Costs you $80 a month. And with 5 minutes and $80, you would know this before it happens. That's the whole point. This is usual. So don't get frustrated. You're like, man, the markets are going for me. They're going against me. The trend is strong, and then it collapses. And man, the market just doesn't know. No, you don't know. Okay? Look, it's all been drawn for you. Yeah? Good. Now we've hit target. Once again, do you remember I showed you on, was it 2 or 3 other pairs? Here's our swing sell zone. This is profit taking. You could take the rest of the week off. You're done already. The trades, okay, the trades were analyzed on Thursday. Okay, once again, similar to everything else. On Thursday, we had a lower low. So I said, have it come up and then take it down. Sweet. Sweet. Great. Do you have the right tools? Yes. Yes, you do. Check your time frames. All we did was breach the 21, go down to the 55. It's the only thing that happened. Okay? Now we've had, okay, November was up and December was up. Let me ask you, did QuantBox give you, oh, I don't want to give away the goose that laid the golden egg, right? So for all you QuantBox subscribers, for this November and December period, did QuantBox suggest up? Just a yes or a no. Research shows that up. Research shows up. Then what about January? Down. Thomas says, hey, can we have further downside? Pay the $80 and find out. We talk about it on an annual basis, a quarterly basis, a monthly basis, and even a weekly basis. Yeah. So Thomas is like, really? Yeah, well, you need to join. I mean, look, it's built. Look, I'm telling you, people are going to get left behind. Some people are adapting artificial intelligence with open arms. QuantBox is your AI automation tool for trading and investing. If you sign up, you're adopting it, and everyone else is going to be left behind. I'm telling you, this is a significant change in human history. Like, some people still don't have a computer at home. They still don't have high-speed internet access. Those people are going to be left behind, and now there's a new level of like, you don't incorporate and automate like deep, fundamentally based research and market sentiment analysis in your trading behavior. You're just using a MACD and a couple of mini lots and you're going to wing it. Dude, you are going to be left behind. You're not even in the same game anymore. We're like, oh my God, like seriously, this is a huge change in the human experience. You either adapt and thrive, or you probably won't survive. People are going to make better informed decisions than you without the tool and without the research. You're just not going to be good enough, even if you're good. I think QuantBox is a representation of that. You either adapt it quickly or you get left behind. Because now for $80 a month, you're trading like 10 years ago. If you were a hedge fund manager with $1 billion and a staff of 100 people, much of your staff were quantitative analysts. Okay? Much of them, many of them. You might have been spending a couple of $1 million a year to do what QuantBox does for $80. But you don't want to sign up for it. Oh my God, you're going to be left behind. And it truly is, I think, a binary decision. You adapt and thrive, or you get left behind. So like, you didn't know these things were coming? We had multiple conversations about all these things happening. You can watch me in the famous one, right? The video of me on FX Street talking about all this happening. But that was 8 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, this is what happens. Boom. This is what I'm going to do. Boom. So if you didn't see this coming, I'm like, it's casual conversation for people who know. I'm literally in the last weeks of December. So I'm in here, right? And I'm being interviewed by Ross Berlin. I'm in the Caribbean. I'm wearing a three-piece suit like a moron. But I like to look good, you know? Sometimes it's worth it. Anyways, I'm in the Caribbean. I'm in the last weeks. And I'm like, I've been buying for months. But I'm going to start selling. It might be today, it might be tomorrow, but it's definitely going to be next week. The first week of January, I'm going to sell everything I bought. So if you, right? And that's 7 years before QuantBox. Now I can just show you. Now it's not Wayne's alpha. I can show you. I'm not a genius. It's just the facts. And then there's the situation where some people know the facts and most people don't. So then you have to choose. When I explain QuantBox, I'm like, it's a choice. If you want to know, it's going to take some of your time and some of your money. And now you know. Then I show you, if you don't have the $80 or you don't want to pay it because you think you're going to make me rich, well, obviously you can't quantify how much it costs. But anyways, you don't want to give up the $80, so then what? Well, I'll show you how to do it yourself. And of course, I do it because no one does it themselves. That's the funniest thing. I'll show you how to do it for free. You can still get the information. You can do it for free. It's just going to take you a lot of your time. But I know no one will do it. So now it's back to the $80. Give up the $80 and you get the information. I'll do all the work. Of course, I use AI to automate the whole thing. So good, you can access that database. So now you're truly making a choice. It's like giving up $1 an hour for the research, or you think $1 an hour is too much money. Well, then you're not on the clue train and there's nothing I can do, right? So I do believe it's that clear of a choice for people. You're either in or you're out. So now we can go to the yens. And yes, yens suggest something different. Yens have a different process, right? A different outcome, a different way of working this time of year. So this one, I'll move this trade to break even. Okay. This is not a perfect outcome. Okay, but we had the up, we had the down. So I looked at the 50%. I looked at some pivots. This is the pivot zone. Okay, I did, right? Here's the 66. There's the 50. There's a pivot point. You see, like generally speaking, something's going on in this zone, right? This was on Thursday when we had the higher high. So we already had the higher high. What I was suggesting is, well, somewhere in that gobbledygoo mess of different levels of support, one of those is going to act as the higher low. And so I drew it on Thursday. I had to squeeze it in here because none of this on the right existed. And I have it going up to this target, which is a fib zone. It's a pivot zone. It's a psych level. So once again, it's all gobbledygoo nonsense. None of it really matters. If you don't have the basics down, what price? Who cares what price? They're zones. They're, right? If you know the basics, you don't have to worry about this wick versus that wick. That's a level of precision that most people don't have yet. If you don't understand this, then it ain't going to happen, right? So part of this decision-making process, like this still might fail. You can see this still might fail. That's irrelevant. I can't control that. But in this decision-making process, I see 20 years of CAD yen. Right? 20 years of CAD yen in the decision-making process. So it doesn't mean it'll work, but maybe it's a valuable decision-making process. Cool. So look at my entry. It's not bad, right? It's better than the Aussie dollar short that I have. Cool. Now I could take this further. So the limit order should be about here. Let me grab the limit order. Okay. That's the conservative limit order. But I can then take this swing and make it a position. And the position says the bottom is central. So the position target, let me get rid of this now. Too many lines, right? Okay. If I'm going to do a position trade, that's the target. But I did that 2 weeks ago. You already knew. You knew 2 weeks ago I drew that. Sweet. So I can say, well, I got in. So that's the first set. This is the reload. This is another reload. It's the second reload. It could be your third trade. Nonetheless, I can say I'm going to be in longer, and I'm going to move my target to 112. And I'm going to pick up another 150 pips. Why? My trade is worth more. Why? I have 20 years of research. I have the confidence to let my winners run. That's the motto of quantbox.co. Informed investment decisions that give you the confidence to let your winners run. It's a great mission statement, huh? So it either just wimps out or we go. Oscar Mike, well, I should be in here. I should be in here. Well, I got the third one. Just trying to show you how to do this. Get in there. And if it works, I get paid. If it doesn't, I don't lose a penny. Nice. It's important, the stock market. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Once again, this is supposed to happen. Okay. So out of all the organizations that I talk about this stuff, so I run Investor Bootcamp, we talk about this stuff. I run QuantBox, we talk about this stuff. And I run the Council of Investment Advisors. We planned for this in late December. Do you know that? It's all been planned. It's all been planned. The portfolio is built to withstand this. We moved money around in anticipation of down. I have 7,000 in cash ready to buy a dip, but it hadn't dipped yet. It hadn't even finished rallying yet, but we planned on it. Right? So it's like, yeah, I got it. Sounds like, oh my God, it's all coming down. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep. For sure. Yeah, for sure. No, Caitlin. The rumor, which I don't believe, is April. But all right, looks like I've gone way too long. It's been a couple of hours. I apologize, everybody. I guess too much fun. Now, Sal says, tell us in a 1 minute what to do next. Well, I have already told you, and then you can use that any way you want. I've positioned my retirement portfolio, managed by the Council of Investment Advisors, for a decline in the stock market in the first quarter. The second thing I've told you is that I have cash available, and I'll probably dump a couple of positions for some extra cash, and I'm going to get back in. And not the same assets, and different assets with different betas. And it's, right, it's all done. Oh, tape read. No, I don't do that. That's not my thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'd like it to dip significantly more. Yeah. But anyways, it is late in the day. I really do apologize. Time got, I got carried away, I guess. I just love hanging with you. There's a you-me deficit time, right, with that holiday. So anyways, let me say, because it's always important, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I'll see you later. Oh, and if you're in my swing trading group, right, we are meeting at 4 o'clock to do the week on the street. So I'll see you then, eh? Sharp, sharp.